Hi, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, all. Welcome to the ninth lecture from the fifth module. In this lecture, I am going to discuss about the organizational culture. Actually, organization culture is a system of shared assumptions, values, and beliefs which governs how people behave in organizations. These shared values have a strong influence on the people in the organization, and they dictate how they dress, act, and perform their jobs. In other words, a strong organization culture shapes the attitude and behavior of its people. According to Deal and Kennedy, organization culture is a system of informal rules that spells out how people have to behave most of the time. Then coming to another definition which was given by Farham and Gander, culture is the commonly held beliefs, attitudes and values that exist in an organization. More simply, culture is the way we do things around here. Organizational culture differentiates the extraordinarily successful companies from all the rest. It can be a powerful competitive advantage. The organization's culture is always distinct, but the big winners consistently, it is the organization that make culture priority. While some might think of organization culture as the result of the organization's people and process, something that cannot be controlled or quantified. But the truth is, organizational culture is unexpectedly tangible. It can be deliberately designed and leveraged. It affects morale and employee engagement. It governs revenue rates and influences company performance, and it affects profitability. So organization culture have a very good impact in the success of an organization. It guides the people how to behave in the organization, how to perform their duties, and how to be a part of the organization, etc. Then coming to the sources of organization culture, the first source of an organization culture is rituals. These are repetitive sequences of activities which express and reinforce the key values of the organization. Then the language. Many organizations use language as a way to identify members of culture or subculture. The member accepts and preserves the culture by learning the language. For example, many of the organizations are using different kind of wordings for different designations in the organization. For example, an organization is using the word receptionist for the person who is seated in the front office of that organization. But many of the organizations are using the word like administrative assistant for the person who is seated in the reception. So organizations are using different kind of wordings for different kind of people working for the organization. Then coming to material symbol. The organization provides all facilities and freedom to their employees. It conveys to the employees the importance of people in the organization. For example, an organization is providing different kind of facilities like schooling facility for the children, hospital facility for the family members, and canteen facility, free canteen facilities for the employees, etc. All such kind of facilities provided by the organization other than salary will provide a material symbol to the people that the organization is accepting the importance of the employees in the organization. Then the last one, that is stories. Parents tell stories of outstanding personalities to children, and children try to transfer them into practice. Nowadays, organizations are also conveying the stories of successful organizations through seniors, which have a great influence in building the organization culture. Okay, then coming to the different types of organization culture. First one is subculture. A subculture is a set of values shared by a minority, usually a small minority of organization members. Subculture is typically a result of problems or experiences which may be shared by members of department or a unit. A subculture means culture or the value shared by a few number of employees or the workers in the organization. Normally they get such kind of culture from the experience or the problems that have faced in the organization. Then coming to the second one, that is dominant culture. Majority of the organizational members share the core values. This kind of sharing of the core value is dominant culture. When we are referring to the organization culture, we refer the dominant culture. That means when we are looking for a culture in an organization, we always give importance to the dominant culture that is prevails in an organization. Then coming to strong culture. If the core values of the organization are being accepted and followed with the commitment by more number of the employees in the organization, then that is considered as a strong organization culture. A strong organization culture influences behavior of the people because of the high agreement among members about the organization culture. Then the next classification, that is weak culture. If the core values of the organizations are not being accepted and followed with the commitment by more number of employees in the organization, that will be considered as a weak culture. That means if the core value of the organizations are followed by only a few members of the organization, then it will be considered as a weak organization culture. Then coming to another type of organization culture, that is authoritarian culture. The leader of the organization exercises full control over the subordinate. That means in an authoritarian culture, the decisions that is happening in the organization will be taken by a single individual or by the superiors of the organization. Then participative culture. This is a form of organization culture in which the superiors motivates the subordinate to attain the goals of the organization, or the subordinates of the organization will get participation for decision making. Then another type of organization culture, that is normative culture. In such a culture, the norms and procedures are predefined and the rules and regulations are set as per the existing guidelines. The employees behave in an ideal way and strictly adhere to the policies of the organization. That means in this form of organization culture, each and every employees in the organization needs to follow the predefined rules and regulations set by the top management of the organization. Then academic culture. It refers to the attitudes, values and ways of behaving that are shared by people who work or study in universities. For example, lecturers, researchers and students. Then coming to pragmatic culture. In pragmatic culture, more emphasis is placed on the clients and external parties. That means in this form of organization culture, they give more importance to the customers and external parties who is dealing with the organization. Customer satisfaction is the main motive of the employees in the pragmatic culture. Then coming to the last organization culture, that is fortress culture. It is a form of organization culture where the employees do not have any security in their job. Their job security is based on the profitability and success of the organization. That means in this type of organization culture, the employees will lose their job when the organization faces a loss, or there will not be any kind of job security for the persons who is working for the organization. Normally, brokers of stock exchanges are following this kind of organizational culture. Okay, these are the topics you need to study from this organization culture. From this topic, you need to study about the meaning of organization culture, the sources of organization culture, and different types of organization cultures followed by business organizations. And one more thing, when you are studying about the organization culture, you need to understand that culture responsiveness is the term that is included in your syllabus. And culture responsiveness means the responsiveness of an organization towards the cultural differences of the customers and the employees in the organization. That means when an organization go for international business or business in another nation, they need to understand the cultural differences that is prevails in the in that nation, and they need to recruit, or they need to hire some people from the country in which they are dealing in the business in order to understand the cultural differences and the taste and preference of the people who is living in that nation, and also need to understand the work culture that prevails in that nation. Then culture responsiveness means the ability of an organization to cope with the cultural changes of different countries and different people around the globe. So every organization needs to accept the cultural differences of the developed nations and underdeveloped nations while they are dealing with the business in around the globe. Okay, these are the things you need to understand from this topic. Okay, thank you.